Something happened last night that every Nigerian following 2027 election needs to know about. The Federal High Court in Abuja just voided INEC's entire timetable for 2027 general elections. The deadlines, the primary schedule, the candidate nomination dates, the membership registration submission, all of it was thrown out by a judge. Justice Mohammed Umar ruled that the portion of INEC revised timetable for 2027 polls are inconsistent with the provision of the Electoral Act 2026 and has set them aside completely. Now, some people will hear this and say, so what? Court rules on things every day. Why does this matter? This matters because the ruling just changed the rule of the game for every single political party, every single candidate, and every single Nigerian who is planning to vote in 2027. Today, I want to explain what this decision means completely. I'll be explaining who wins from it, who loses from this decision in simple English. Are you ready? Let's go. So welcome back to my channel. This is Adeoti Abayomi. I cover Nigerian politics, current affairs in simple and plain English, no ambiguity. I base on facts, no sentiments, no propaganda. Subscribe right now if you're not subscribed. Turn on post notification. When you do, you will never miss any video when I drop them. Today's story is actually breaking news. We are one of the first to break it down properly to you. So let's get right into it in different sections. Section number 1. What exactly did the court rule? Let me start from the beginning so that everybody will understand what has actually happened here. INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission, they released timetable for 2027 general election. The timetable included specific deadline for everything, which is when parties must submit their membership registers, when primaries must be conducted, when candidates must be nominated, and when parties can withdraw or replace candidates. And INEC said, follow these dates or you will not be able to participate in 2027 election. Now, a smaller party called Youth Party went to court and said, wait, INEC does not have the power to set those dates. The Electoral Act already specifies the timelines, and INEC is shortening those timelines without legal authority to do so. And the court agreed with them completely. Justice Mohammed Umar ruled that INEC cannot fix or prescribe the timetable within which political parties can conduct their primary elections. The power granted to INEC under the Electoral Act do not extend to determining timelines for party primaries. The court also voided INEC's May 10 deadline for political parties to submit their membership registers, the deadline that was being used as a condition for parties to qualify for 2027 election. And the judge went further, using section 29 sub 1 of the Electoral Act 2026 that gives political party up to 120 days before an election to submit their candidate details. INEC cannot shorten the period, and section 31 of the same act permits to withdraw and substitute candidates not later than 90 days before election day. INEC cannot change that either. In simple English, INEC was making rules that are not in the law, and the court said, stop that. Section number 2. Who actually brought in this case and why? Now, I want to talk about who actually brought the case because it is interesting. It was a party called Youth Party. Not APC, not PDP, not NDC, not ADC. Not any of the big parties we talk about every day. They are not the one that filed the lawsuit. Youth Party filed that suit on March 11, 2026, challenging INEC's authorities to impose timelines not supported by law. A small party with limited resources, they took INEC, one of the most powerful institutions in Nigeria, to court, and they won. Now, why did they do it? Because the tight deadlines INEC imposed were actually killing smaller parties. Big parties like APC that have structure, they have the money, they have the manpower to meet those deadlines. But smaller parties do not have that power. So INEC's timetable was effectively locking smaller parties out of 2027 election before it even began. The Youth Party straight, they took it to court and they leveled the playing field. Now, they have succeeded. But here's the interesting thing. The people who benefit most from this is not even Youth Party. They are the big players. They are aggrieved aspirants from other big parties, the parties that are in crisis. And we'll get to that in the next section. Section number 3. Who wins from this ruling? We'll talk about the winners. Next, we'll talk about the losers. So first, who wins? This is the part of the story that's going to shake Nigerian politics in the coming days. Because this really does not affect everyone equally. Some people just had a good night. Alright, let's discuss the winners. Winner number 1. Every aggrieved aspirant who lost in APC primaries, this ruling, they won. They are happy because of the ruling. Remember, we covered those aspirants this week. Over 150 aspirants across 10 states, protesting about the APC primary results. People were disqualified unfairly. The man in Castina who was detained by DSS before his own primary. The two different winners announced in the primary election in Plateau State. You understand? This ruling is a ray of hope for many politicians who lost in the recent primary election, because the timeline that was being used to lock them has now been null and void. Is being voided. So they now have more time to press more legal charges, right, and challenge the results or recontest or even switch parties and still qualify for 2027. I see many of them going into NDC in the coming days. Number two, who are those, the second winners, right? The second winners, the ADC. The ADC primary was supposed to hold on May 25. Was already becoming uncertain because of money problems and the Atiku and Mechi consensus fight. Now, they now have more breathing room. The pressure of May 25 deadline will be lifted from the ADC. They can now sort internal crisis without the clock running out on them. Do you understand? Winner number 3 will be Peter Obi and NDC. Remember that Peter Obi left ADC because of the legal challenges and tight timelines inside the party. This ruling clears all of those timelines issue. Also gives NDC more room to build structure properly before submitting candidates. This ruling also assists NDC to get more candidates to their side. Do you understand? Winner number 4 will be Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, because Jonathan has been floating around presidential conversation without formally committing himself. A constitutional eligibility ruling is coming on the May 26th, and now with INEC timeline voided, even if he wants to enter the race later than everyone else, the door is still open for Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Do you understand? So let's go to section number 4. Who are those that lose from this ruling, right? Now, let me be balanced and talk about who this ruling will hurt. Loser number 1 is INEC. This is an embarrassment to INEC. A small party like Youth Party went to court and proved that Nigeria's most powerful electoral body was operating outside its legal authority. This decision is likely to send INEC back to the drawing board in its preparation for the 2027 general election. They now have to rebuild the entire timetable from the scratch within the limits that the law actually gives to them. Loser number 2. We bring facts here. Nigerians who want an organized election, we are losing here. Let me explain. Here's the honest truth here. INEC set those tight deadlines for a reason. Early deadlines means more time to prepare voters' registers, deploy materials, and train officers and conduct a proper election. When you push deadline back, you compress the preparation time. And in a country where election logistics are already challenging, this is a real risk. They might not tell you this elsewhere. Anyways, loser number 3. The idea of electoral certainty. When a court can void an electoral timetable less than a year before an election, it creates confusion. Parties do not know which rule to follow. Candidates do not even know what deadlines are valid. And other Nigerians who are trying to register to vote and follow the process, they are left confused. Anyway, section number 5. What happens next? So where does Nigeria go from here? The court clearly ruled, while INEC has the constitutional responsibility to monitor and observe party primaries, that power does not include fixing timelines for political parties to conduct their exercises. So INEC has 2 options. 1, appeal the ruling, go to the higher courts and try get the decision reversed. That will take time. While the appeal is ongoing, which timetable do parties follow? Option 2, go back to the drawing board, build a new timetable that stays strictly within what the Electoral Act allow, and give the party full 120 days that the law guarantees, and then reorganize the entire election preparation process around the new legal reality. Either ways, the 2027 election just got more complicated, and INEC needs to communicate clearly to Nigerians and fast what the next steps are. Because the one thing Nigeria cannot afford heading into 2027 is confusion. Confusion about how the election will be run. Alright, let me zoom out and tell you what this story is really about. Nigeria is heading into what could be the most contested presidential election in Nigeria's history. You have Tinubu running for a second time. You have Obi and Kwankwaso in NDC. You have Atiku and Amici fighting over the ADC ticket. We have Makinde building a PDP APM coalition. And then we have Goodluck Jonathan floating around. And now you have a court ruling that has just reset the electoral clock. Every one of these players is going to be watching what INEC does next very carefully. Because whoever controls the rules of the game, the timelines, the deadlines, and the condition has a significant advantage before a single vote is cast. The Youth Party went to court and then won. But the real battle for the 2027 election is just beginning. And it is not just going to be fought at polling units. It is going to be fought in courtrooms, in party secretariats, and in Abuja hotels, and in government offices between now and the election day. The ordinary Nigerian needs to be watching all of it, because your vote, when it finally comes, should be the thing that decides the election, not the courts, not the party bosses, not the consensus arrangement. Your vote. I want to hear your take in the comments right now. Do you think the court ruling helps or hurts Nigeria's chance of having a clean 2027 election? If you think it helps, type helps. And if you think it hurts, type hurts. And if you think INEC should appeal or they should accept it and rebuild, whatever you think about this, drop it in the comment section. This story is developing fast. As soon as INEC responds, as soon as any of the parties react, we will be back with the update immediately. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you turn on the post notification. Share this video with someone who is following 2027 race. Like it so that more people can find it. I'll see you on the next one. God bless Nigeria and God bless you.